All right, it's time to continue our videos. Um, Once again, I've changed. This is a large brim boonie hat. Kind of looks like a cowboy hat. It's called a large brim boonie hat. Got my sunglasses on, and the reason I keep changing is I want you to know that I don't believe that there is one way. There's one way you got to do it. I don't believe that's true. You do it the way you want to do it, right? But we're talking about concepts here, okay? Concepts. So in the very beginning, I said I have 100 pounds of goodness, but we're going to get that squared away here real quick. This right here, a load of magazines, right? My belt with 2 full canteens of water weighs 30 pounds. That means this pack right here behind me weighs 70 pounds. Okay. And you don't want to exceed that number. Now, I know I just told you that there is no certain way to do it, but you do not want to exceed 100 pounds. Okay. Um, After that, it's just way too much. Way too much. A friend of mine was in reconnaissance, and he was carrying 120, 130 pounds. He weighed like a buck 50. So it was they would go do movement and get into position and all that time. And hell, by the time he got there, he was freaking exhausted. So you want to keep it to be around 100 pounds, 30 pounds right here on your body, right? And then 70 pounds in the pack. Now, this is not the fighting load. Okay, this is getting to where you need to go so you can drop this heavy weight. Everything that you need to fulfill your mission is in the large pack. And then you drop it and you can move to your fighting load, okay, which is going to be less than 50, more or less. So, wanted to go back into this one more time. You're only wearing this gear long enough to get into your patrol base or your base camp, whatever you want to call it. Then you're going to drop this 70-pound pack and you can get into your routine of surveillance, security, and sleep. So there you go. So why 100 pounds? Okay, that's what the Legionnaires carried. Okay, try not to exceed 100 pounds. The Legionnaires would go on a road march. They would march for however long it is per day they needed to go, and then they would drop their gear, but that wasn't their fighting load. That was everything they needed. And that's one thing, one more time, I want to talk about that. You hear a lot of people on YouTube talking about reducing your weight, but my issue is a lot of these guys talking about reducing your weight were are GWAT veterans, right? Well, what did you have in the GWAT? You go in, you got less than 30 pounds, maybe you got a little bit of water, but what they're not telling you is they got a 5-minute speedball and a QRF, excuse me, a quick reaction force, a QRF. Both of those elements are delivered by helicopters. If things go sideways, shit hits the fan, are you going to have access to helicopters to bring you gear? Are you going to have access to helicopters to bring you reinforcements? Who, by the way, are carrying anywhere between 8 and 12 magazines per person. Okay, so be careful who you're listening to. Be careful their ideas, because when you're out there, you got 3 guys in this situation, the triad, out there doing their thing. You are your resupply. You are your medevac. Okay, nobody's coming to save you if shit goes sideways real fast. All right, you might want to keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to get all this gear off, get into something a little different, and then we'll continue. All right, this is the London Bridge Trading 8-pocket pack. Okay, any large Alice pack will do, or any large pack that you can fit all your gear into will do. Just keep in mind you want to keep it around 100 pounds, and we're going to spread load the mission essential gear between the 3 people. That we don't want to overload one specific person. On this pack particularly on the top, I have attached my water bladder. On this side, I have another first aid kit because if you have a large organ wound, like, or excuse me, a large member wound, like a leg wound in the thigh, you're going to need a lot of first aid gear to keep that wound from bleeding and to clean it, etc. So I have extra first aid supplies on my pack. I also have a sleeping mat. The sleeping mat's not totally necessary, but got to be comfortable when you can, right? Got to be comfortable when you can. So we'll start going to what's out. I'm going to move this pack, and we're going to start uh, talking about what I have on the inside. All right, let's talk about what I got in the pockets first. I have my canteens in my pocket. Now, the reason I have my canteens in my pocket is because this is a large pack, and I don't want to put that extra pressure on the small of my back when I put my pack on. I can always take those canteens out, put them in my belt kit, and I'm ready to go. I also have in this pack these large canteens. I believe this is the South African style canteens. They're square, fit pretty well in your pocket. Now here's the deal. The reason my bag weighs 70 pounds is because once I fill up all these containers, it's almost 2 gallons of water. So that's why my pack is so heavy. If you're not carrying all this water, you're going to be carrying a lot less weight. Now, if in your where you're going in your area of operation, you have easy access to water, then maybe you don't need to fill all these canteens. Maybe you can just travel with them empty, and then when you get to your patrol base, you can go and fill them up and have them for you when you need them. But if you're going somewhere then where there's no easy access to water, then you need to carry your water with you, okay? In another outside pouch, I have my poncho. That's the only rain gear I have with me. I have my habit, right? Oh, I left my canteen cup in my stove in the bag. There you go. This is my fire kit, all right? And with my fire kit, I have a solo stove. Now this is a gasifier. I'll open it up so you can see it. Now the great thing about this solo stove is the stove is actually in this pouch, and the stove fits into this little pot, right? It was made that way on purpose. Now this stove is a gasifier, burns up everything. All the smoke that's being generated is being burned up. So it's as close to a smokeless fire as you can get. All right. So let's start talking about what's inside the pack. I have two top pouches here. And the one thing about this pack is this cover can be removed and you can wear it as a pack if you need to. But it's really kind of small. The very top, got a sniper veil. Here's my boo-boo kit. And I have this gaiter right here in case it gets cold. But if it's not below freezing, I don't wear them. It's way too freaking hot for me. Then I have my rifle cleaning kit. You need to bring your rifle cleaning kit. You need to have it with you. If you're out and it's raining or your weapon gets dirty, you need to be able to clean your weapon, right? Inside this large Ziploc bag, I have a fleece vest, another shirt, and a couple of pairs of socks. Now the socks that I wear are 40% wool. That's good for me. The great thing about wool is smell. I can rinse these socks out, let them dry, and they'll be fine. I can wear them several times. And finally, I have wipes, and I got a bunch of them. The great thing about these wipes is that once they dry out, they're lightweight, right? You just pour a little bit of water in there when you need to use them, and they'll be good to go. Why do I have so many containers of wipes? Because there's always that one guy, right? There's always that one guy. Hey man, you got some shit paper? Yeah, that's why I have so many. Okay, let's move on. Inside my bag, I have another pack, excuse me. This is the standard 3-day from London Bridge Trading Company. And you'll understand why we're talking about this here in a minute. I also have the grill. This is probably the fastest way I know of to purify your water. This comes off. Here's the filter. Put your water in here. Open the top. There's a fill line. Fill it to here at the fill line, and then press down. And then you can fill all your containers. It's probably the fastest way I've found to purify water. Next we have food. Now, I have a couple different videos on food. One is how to make these little containers, these homemade MREs, and another one is food on the march. You might want to go check them out. I'll put them in the description for you if you're interested in watching them. I also have my titanium spoon, a small saw, and this is coffee and drink mix, right? I love coffee, gotta have coffee. That's why I need to cook hot water. I also need hot water for these meals, or you can use cold water if you would like. And I also have these drink pouches, right? After you drink water for a while, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to beat my head against a rock. I have an extra pair of gloves, a steel match, and extra matches, just in case. All right. Then I have this, this is just a rag, general purpose, right? Use it for whatever you need it. You can make char cloth, you can take a bath with it, or wipe down with it, whatever you need. Okay, poncho liner. This is a survival blanket made by Go-To Systems. It's reflective. It has zippers and snaps. So with my poncho liner and this right here, I can make a sleeping bag that's extremely warm. The hygiene bag also has some first aid stuff in there, like Tylenol, anti-gas, anti-diarrheal, etc. I have a small knife sharpener, duct tape, and I've got mosquito juice and a cleaning cloth for my weapon that's already impregnated with the oil. All right, that's it for the personal stuff. Now let's talk about missing essential gear, and for that, I want to set this pack on the ground. Okay, we're not going to talk about mission essential gear a lot here. I'm just going to show you the reason my bag is so big is because I had all this extra gear in there. Starting from my left, I have a spotting scope with the tripod, night vision goggles, a tarp, and 550 cord to set up my hide. And then of course I have in this Ziploc bag, I have a headlamp and a flashlight. So you notice I don't have any batteries, but these are rechargeable. These are both rechargeable. The headlamp is my primary and the flashlight is my backup if I need it. So we'll be talking about batteries when we get to the GOM guy. And I really don't want to get into this right now. That's a separate video, which is coming next. I just wanted to show you what's in the bag and why it weighs 70 pounds, right? And the main reason it weighs 70 pounds is all that water. Now, you may not think you need all that water, but you might want to take it a little bit serious because the Rangers, as good as they are, as well trained as they are, when they went into Mogadishu, one of the problems they had was, number one, they ran out of ammunition, and number two, they ran out of water. And when you run out of ammunition and you run out of water, you've only got three things left. You can die in place, you can surrender, or you can run. And that's what they did. They ran. And if it hadn't been for the quick reaction force, things would have been a whole lot worse. It would have been a mass casualty event. I'm not saying they're not brave. I'm not saying they're not well trained. I'm not saying they didn't fight valiantly. They did all those things. They are all those things. However, someone made the decision that they didn't need more ammunition and they didn't need to carry a lot of water. Okay, so don't make that mistake. Do not make that mistake. Well, I hope this gives you some ideas. Remember, there is no one way. There is no the way. Okay, you're going to have to do what you need to do. Hope you have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.